Before you watch this episode of our City Current radio show, I want to invite you to join City Current's e-learning and online personal development platform called Growth Current. I'm Jeremy Park, host of the City Current radio show and CEO of City Current. Growth Current is your exclusive ticket to attend virtual events with global thought leaders, national guest speakers, and experts who can help you grow personally and professionally. It gives you access to success secrets, lessons learned, learning modules, and so much more. Being online, you can join us from anywhere in the world. Subscriptions are only $8 a month, or you can do bulk subscriptions for your team. Check out growthcurrent.com to learn more and to join us in our efforts to power the good. And now, on to the show. Welcome to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We are honored always to bring you inspiring stories of organizations and individuals making a difference, powering the good in our community. And we're honored to kick it off with our good friend, our first guest, Cortney Richardson. He's with Peer Power Foundation. He is their Chief Marketing and Community Engagement Officer. When you talk about Peer Power Foundation, roots in Memphis, now expanding across the state with their virtual learning lab. So we'll talk about Memphis, Nashville, the whole state of Tennessee, and the good they're doing around education. Cortney, how are you doing, sir?
I am absolutely well, Jeremy Park. How are you?
Doing well. I love talking about education. And so you're a fun one, an easy one, and the work you're doing is absolutely amazing. So give us a little bit of a history lesson. You are one of the founding tutors with Peer Power Foundation. So you've got a personal storyline, even beyond just your role. So give us a little history lesson.
Well, I will say that it has been quite the journey, an enjoyable journey that is. Imagine a 14-year-old African-American boy that goes to an inner city high school in Memphis and experiencing all of the ups and downs of that particular experience, but being one of the cream of the crop and being called on to help your peers rise. And so that's my story with Peer Power. I was called to the principal's office for a meeting of the minds, and this meeting was with the optional students at East High School at that time, saying, hey, your peers need some help. Are you interested in helping them? And of course, the answer was yes. And that was 16 years ago at East High School. We were called on to help, and Peer Power is still helping today. And so we were hiring high school students 16 years ago, and now we're hiring college students who are helping to collapse the adult to student ratio inside of public schools. So in short, what I say is that Peer Power provides a private school education to public school students.
Nice. I like that. That's well put. Yeah. Talk about the model, because as you alluded to, you are hiring college students to go into the classroom and to lower the ratio and to give a lot more one-on-one interaction to students. So it is very hands-on, very relational, but it's a very unique model. So talk about the model.
Yeah. So Jeremy, when you think about public education in public high schools, some immediately start to think of the fact that there are large classrooms and large populations of students in one class. So if you could imagine one teacher to 30 to 35 students, something needs to be done about that. And so Peer Power said we use our peer-to-peer model to take high-performing college students from the University of Memphis, the great University of Memphis, and we take those college students and we would put them in a classroom during the day so that the teacher of record could have another adult in that classroom, not to help with paperwork, but to help with instruction, to help meet the individual need of a student. So think about a program that says we're going to help to make sure that every student in public education has their individual need met. We do that by implementing this model. And then we have stories like the one of our young man, Bernard, who is from a single family home, and he has many needs. He has younger brothers and sisters. Well, he has to balance academia as well as his family. And so what we have is a success coach that goes in that helps that young man with his reality, right? And helps him create a different reality. And so we have this young man, Bernard, now, who is a teacher because he had a success coach that helped him hone in on his life and helped him comb through his life in a more practical way.
I love the fact that you call them success coaches. Dive in a little deeper on a success coach in terms of the training that they receive, how you incentivize them. Give us a little more background on success coaches.
So a success coach is a combination of a tutor plus a mentor. We've decided that we're not just going to focus on the academic need. We want to focus on the whole child. So we make sure that our college students who are success coaches, we make sure that they have the terminology, that they have the same training that teachers get to support students academically. We make sure our college students have that training. We also have Dr. Mary Grace Hemme on our staff, who's our director of training, who makes sure that our success coaches have training in things like adverse childhood experiences, which is called ACEs. We make sure those success coaches know how to be a coach. You know, coaching is different than being a manager or even just being a tutor. A coach kind of helps you walk through your own thought processing. Here's a play. Why is this play important? And that success coach helps you just become successful. We have students who rely on our success coaches, not just for their academic needs, but for their emotional needs. Many times our success coaches hear things before the teacher hears them and hears things before the students' parents hear things. And so we're excited to support the whole child.
The other neat thing is, you know, for the audience, just think about it this way. By the college student stepping into the classroom, it's also role modeling. It's showing them that, hey, I could be that college student too. I see myself in their shoes. And so I want to achieve and go on and do those things. So it really creates relationships, not only, you know, in the current, but it also creates it in the future in terms of seeing themselves in college and becoming a success coach themselves. So I think there's really cool relational elements there. Talk about what you're seeing for impact in the classroom, because I mean, at this point, you're over 1 million hours of, you know, impact in what you're doing. So talk about impact.
So Jeremy, the impact has been a large impact. 16 years ago, we would not have been able to predict the type of impact that we've had. We've committed more than 1.2 million tutoring and mentoring hours in public schools in Memphis and Shelby County. We have given over 1,700 jobs to college students. We have served over 17,000 high school students. And what we're excited about is with our ACT prep program, we have an average score increase of 3.4 points. So when you start talking about a 3-point increase on an ACT prep, you're talking about the difference between students borrowing 10 to 15, in many cases, $20,000 to $30,000 for their college education. And now these students are going to college for free. That is a game changer for young people like Tyra Washington, who was a student at Whitehaven High School, who became a success coach and then went to the University of Memphis after gaining over $1 million worth of scholarships and being the oldest child of multiple siblings. Tyra Washington became a success coach. She was being paid to tutor at the high school that she graduated from. And now Tyra has a tutoring program even of her own. She found her passion by working with Peer Power. And that's what this program is about. It's about producing students, producing a high quality citizen for Memphis, Shelby County, and Tennessee. That's what we're all after. We're after producing young people who can contribute to our society.
And across the state of Tennessee leads me to the next part of, you know, one of the pivots you all have made during COVID-19, but now it's really creating a powerful opportunity across the state and beyond. So talk about the pivot with COVID-19 and now the virtual learning lab.
You know, COVID-19 was what caught us all by surprise, caught us all by storm. But our team here at Peer Power, of course, led by our CEO, Tabitha Glenn, who comes to us from 20 years of experience with Alsac St. Jude, our COO, Malcolm Ross, who was one of the founding tutors as well. Chris Zah is our vice president of the Peer Power Institute. We had to pivot. Bill Sainert is our executive director, who has been with the organization for 16 years. We had to pivot. And so we realized in March, ACT was still a thing. ACT was still the test that determined not entrance, but it still determined whether students would receive scholarship dollars. And so we launched our ACT prep program. We sent it virtual. Usually we serve about 250 students. In March, we launched the virtual ACT prep program, and we serviced over 700 students from over 9 different cities and 2 different countries. And so when we had to pivot, we said, how can we serve what we're calling this COVID generation? Think about it. You have students who are already behind, who are now going to be further behind, because even virtual learning, you don't retain as much knowledge on the virtual platform as you do when you have your teacher and your students, your peers right around you. We had to answer what Ben Hooks calls the duty of the hour. And the duty of the hour is virtual learning. So we launched our virtual learning lab, and we said we want to serve the students throughout the entire state of Tennessee. So every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 3:30 to 5 o'clock, and from 5 o'clock to 6:30, we allow students from across the state to dial in to our virtual Zoom sessions to learn ACT prep. We give them things like finance courses. We connect them with business leaders and entrepreneurs and college professors and high school teachers. And our amazing cohort of success coaches are available every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to help walk these high school students through the COVID education model, which is virtual learning. And so our virtual learning lab has served students all across the state, and we're excited to bring it to not just Memphis, but to the entire state.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. Talk about how we can help. So how can the community help?
You know, as we talk about our model has always survived because we've had philanthropic and corporate dollars. Our success coaches are not volunteering. Our success coaches are being paid starting at $12.50 an hour. And when you look at that, $12.50 an hour, we have college students who can work up to between 15 to 30 hours a week. And we're talking about the difference between these college students borrowing money to pay for rent, borrowing money to buy their books, and to just cover the expenses of their college experience. So I know that organizations look for ways to impact the lives of college students and corporations. And I think Peer Power is a great model. If, for instance, $1,000 helps us to fund our tutoring and mentoring program for local high school students to help improve their scores academically, helps them graduate. $2,500 covers training materials for 150 success coaches. $5,000 provides 400 hours of tutoring for a local public high school. And hey, our ACT prep program, which serves, as I just told you, over 700 students, $10,000 helps to provide ACT prep for 50 students. And we may have some corporations out there that want to be courageous. And even during this time of COVID-19, $500,000 helps us to expand our tutoring model to an additional school. And if we expand our model to an additional school, a corporation would be partnering with Peer Power to change the trajectory for over 1,000 students. That is a game changer. And I sit here as a product of the game-changing program of Peer Power Foundation. Our founder, Charlie McVane, said, I want to do something about the public education crisis in my city, in Memphis, Tennessee. And his dollars have gone a long way. They really have.
Talk about website, social media, phone numbers. Where do we go to raise our hand and say, hey, I want to be a part of it?
You know, our website is peerpowerfoundation.org. You could always email us from there. I am always available to have a conversation. I'm sure that my information is going to be available for you. We're on Facebook, Peer Power Foundation. We're on Instagram, peerpower_901. We're on LinkedIn as Peer Power. And, you know, you could always get me anywhere. I am Cortney Inspires on all social media. That's Cortney with no U, because you're in my heart. Cortney Inspires. And my email address is CourtneyInspires@peerpowerfoundation.org. And I'm looking forward to connecting with folks who are wanting to join us on our mission to help change the lives of students in public education.
Well, Cortney, there is no question, no doubt you do inspire. Thank you for all the good you and your team do at Peer Power Foundation. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Jeremy, thank you for having me. I'd come back anytime.